and leaves her. It's not right that he takes her money and leaves her with no food. And now it's all about my grandson, because when these two dog her, who is gonna have to come pick up that little boy?
But I'm a very honest person, and I did call and tell him immediately.
You say, you know what, I'm too drunk, I just did something that I shouldn't have done. Let me call my husband, let me call my family, come get me, because I know I'm a hot mess over here.
4 years old.
All I said is your father is dead. That's all I said, and I left it at that.
He went to the store to get him some milk. That was a lie too.
Take a lie detector test.
After 23 years, we don't know nothing about this young man. It's a whole lot you need to take.
All right, folks, let's dive into the soap opera that is the case of Hendricks versus Hendricks. Gather around as we kick things off in the courtroom. The air is thick with suspense and cordial greetings as everyone gears up for what promises to be a juicy session. Buckle up, it's showtime, and the introductions are just the appetizer.
Please be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
This is a case of Hendricks versus Hendricks.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Hendricks, you and your husband previously appeared in court because you suspected he was being unfaithful.
Yes, Your Honor. She was naked on the bed, and Chris was in there.
Oh, I'm perfectly aware of what's at stake.
There's the girls and then the baby, I mean.
Here we go. Mrs. Hendricks spills the tea about their last dramatic appearance in court, suspecting her hubby of a little side romance. Now she's back, with a baby bump in tow, stirring up the emotional pot with talk of their other kids and the latest bun in the oven. Strap in, because this roller coaster is just leaving the station.
You're expecting?
Yeah, I'm 6 months.
Mr. Hendricks was asked, had he had sex with his ex? What was his response?
His response was no.
What did the lie detector determine?
That he was being truthful.
Mrs. Hendricks, the shoe is now on the other foot. Your husband is accusing you of cheating and says he is not the father of your 1-month-old baby, Chris Jr.
Hold on to your hats, people. We just got word that Mr. Hendricks was telling the truth all along. No hanky-panky with the ex. The crowd goes wild with applause. And let me tell you, the plot thickens as we switch gears to Mrs. Hendricks' side of the story. What's coming next? Oh, it's good.
Mr. Hendricks, you say you confirmed your wife has been unfaithful and there is no way her child yours. So you're also petitioning the court for a lie detector test to determine the extent of your wife's cheating. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any spicier, Mr. Hendricks throws a curveball by accusing Mrs. Hendricks of cheating and questions if he's the real daddy of their 1-month-old Chris Jr. The courtroom's buzzing as they talk about bringing in the lie detector again. Fasten your seatbelts. It's about to get bumpy.
I'm very pissed off because he's your twin. I mean, he's his twin.
And you don't think he has any reason to deny the child?
No, I was very honest with him with what happened before, and he has taken it to the extent of denying our son, even though I've done everything he wanted me to do. Named him after him, circumcised him, did everything.
Mrs. Hendricks isn't having any of it, and boy does she let us know. She's downright mad about her husband's denial of their little one, emphasizing all she's done to keep the peace, including naming the kiddo after him. Emotional fireworks are flying, and there's more drama on the horizon. Get ready for the tears and cheers.
And you wanted her to do even name the child after you. You don't believe the child is yours?
I don't feel that bond like I do with my other children.
I even named him after your dad.
He barely looks like me. I'm not seeing any characteristics. He don't have any of my personal features. I don't know.
You must
I'm
be
not
blind.
seeing it as well as the others.
Just when you think you've seen it all, Mrs. Hendricks drops a bombshell about battling cancer and sinking into a remission relief. The backstory of their rocky relationship unfolds, painting a picture of love, betrayal, and health scares. Grab your tissues. This tale has twists and turns that could rival a daytime Emmy show.
Take me back to the situation that's surrounding the paternity doubt relating to baby Christopher.
Last September, his Facebook messages were coming to my phone, and it was one of his co-workers, and she was saying very sexual things. About 10 days later, I had found out that I had endometrial cancer, and I had gotten real sick. And
oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'm in remission now, thank
God, yes.
Now, here's a spicy tidbit. A family member calls Mrs. Hendricks out as a bold-faced liar right in the middle of a heated chat about supposed infidelity. The family drama is thicker than Thanksgiving gravy, folks. Keep watching, because just when you think you know what's next, the unexpected happens.
We had everybody over at our house drinking. We had started working out our issues. I came into the room, and they were already into a conversation.
Who are they? Who's they?
Carrie and her...
Miss Hendricks and a family member.
And a family member.
Okay.
I was like, so what is it that you're supposed to tell me? And she says nothing. She looks at this family member, says, I put it on such and such's grave that nothing happened. And the family member looked at her and said, you're a bull-faced liar. You came to my house that very next night and said you did it.
Imagine the shock. Mrs. Hendricks finds out she's pregnant amidst this chaos, and the timing couldn't be more controversial. Mr. Hendricks is scratching his head, wondering if the stork got the wrong address, because after years of trying, this surprise has everyone guessing. Hold on to your hats. The explanation is a doozy.
Do you tell Mr. Hendricks Hendricks immediately? I'm pregnant.
I was at I had actually went into the emergency room because I had an internal hernia. My surgeon had ordered a pregnancy test, all this, you know, because if I had had to go in for surgery. They came back and said, you do realize you're very early pregnant. My HCG level was only 22, just implanted.
Which is the reason why I started doubting it right off the bat.
Why?
Because we went through extensive fertility medicine to have our 4-year-old daughter. Tried for 5 years.
The plot thickens as the couple debates whether baby Chris Jr. has daddy's nose or just his attitude. They're parsing out facial features and a mysterious blood disorder that doesn't match the family line. The mystery deepens, and you won't believe the experts' take on this. Coming up next.
You start hanging out with another guy, and then all of a sudden you wind up pregnant. You don't find that funny at all.
Because I know what I was doing, and I know I was with you only.
Okay.
Well, but Miss Hendricks, I have to say, you just testified that on that night in question, you didn't know what happened.
But I'm a very honest person, and I did call and tell him immediately.
You say, you know what? I'm too drunk. I just did something that I shouldn't have done. Let me call my husband. Let me call my family. Come get me because I know I'm a hot mess over here.
Enter the expert. Swinging the door open on all this blood-type hullabaloo, she breaks down the science behind why Mrs. Hendricks's antibodies might be giving baby Chris a hard time. It's a medical mystery worthy of a detective novel, and you better believe it's more tangled than last year's Christmas lights.
When he was born, he was not breathing for 1.5 minutes. Finds out he's got a blood disorder. Is crazy because it's fighting with her blood. But the more I got to thinking about it, none of my other kids have ever had this problem. Our 4-year-old daughter does not have this problem.
And so you're wondering if potentially this has something to do with the fact that the baby may have another biological father.
Correct.
But it's not a genetic disorder. My blood type is O positive, the baby's is A positive.
Drum roll, please. The big reveal is here, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Hendricks, you are the father. I told you.
The courtroom kicks off with some order in the house as the judge calls everyone to take their seats, while Jerome lays down the day's agenda with the case of Alan versus Tolliver. Jerome, always on point, sets the stage for what promises to be a courtroom drama filled with twists and turns. Get ready, because this is just the beginning.
Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Allen versus Tolliver.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Allen, you claim the defendant got you pregnant and now refuses to do anything for your 2-year-old daughter, Novella.
Things heat up quickly as Ms. Allen drops a bombshell, accusing Mr. Tolliver of neglecting their daughter, Novella, which she claims has led to severe financial and emotional distress. She's not holding back, laying out her case with the seriousness of a final season episode of your favorite legal drama. Watch as Mr. Tolliver tries to dodge these fiery accusations.
You claim today's DNA test that he is Novella's father and you need him to step up. Mr. Tolliver, you and your girlfriend say you are 100% certain you are not her child's biological father and have evidence to support your claim.
The plot thickens as Mr. Tolliver and his girlfriend stand firm, 100% convinced he isn't the father of little Novella, and they claim they've got the receipts to prove it. Their staunch defense adds a juicy layer to this paternity pickle. Buckle up, because the gloves are coming off.
Absolutely nothing, Honor.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Has he paid any child support at all?
No, Your Honor.
Involved in her life?
No, Your Honor.
Come to visit her?
No, Your Honor.
I have several reasons that I can prove that I'm not the father.
As the court dives deeper, Mr. Tolliver talks about trying to sort out the paternity mess with a DNA test, which Ms. Allen has seemingly been dodging like a pro. This part of the saga adds a dash of mystery to the mix. Why the avoidance, Ms. Allen? Hang tight. Her reasoning is up next, and it's a doozy.
I've tried to get her to do a DNA test. For instance, just the other day, she's not going to do the test.
Have you been avoiding the test, Ms. Allen?
No, I haven't not been avoiding the test.
Why haven't you taken it if he's volunteering?
He's the reason why. I honestly do not want to go take a test by myself with him.
Amid the legal jousting, Ms. Allen shares her side, explaining her reluctance to take the DNA test, particularly not alongside Mr. Tolliver. It's getting personal in here, folks, and you can cut the tension with a knife. What's next? Mr. Tolliver's take on their tangled past, and it's more twisted than a pretzel.
So your thing is the buck stops here until I figure out whether or not I am the father. You don't feel like you want to invest any time getting to know the child?
No, it's not that. I mean, she's told me that, over the text messages and phone calls that this is going to be Novella's father.
Wait. When did that come out?
This was when she was in the hospital.
The drama escalates as they rehash their rocky relationship and the ensuing paternity dispute. It's a he said, she said showdown with a child caught in the middle. Just when you think it's all been said, a new piece of evidence comes into play.
So you weren't there on this day, the day she delivered?
No, ma'am.
Were you invited?
How was I invited? Was she going to invite me and him? I mean, that makes no sense.
I told you that he did not have to be in the delivery room, that you could be in there. Yes, I
So
did.
wait a minute now, Miss, you admit that you had moved on and started dating this gentleman.
Yes.
And you had invited him to the birth of Novella.
Yes.
Was he with you during the pregnancy?
We got together when I was 3 months pregnant, and he was there the whole time.
A crucial moment unfolds as Ms. Allen admits she told Mr. Tolliver that her current boyfriend would be raising Novella, sparking a major misunderstanding about who's the daddy. This revelation throws another wrench into the already complicated narrative. Strap in, the twists keep coming.
The guy that she was seeing at the time with Novella is claiming as his daughter.
My girls already learning, laugh out loud. Do you believe that this gentleman is potentially Novella's biological father, or do you feel like this is just someone she's using to get back at you?
I don't know. It just seems to me like that's a very good chance that he is the father.
When you got pregnant, were you dating anyone else at the time?
No.
Ms. Allen insists she has tried to get Mr. Tolliver involved in Novella's life despite his refusals and busy schedule. She's laying it all out there, trying to paint a picture of a one-sided effort. What will the judge make of all this? Stay tuned, because we're heading to a pivotal point.
Do you consistently
press
and try to establish a relationship between Mr. Tolliver and Novella?
Yes, I have constantly tried to get a hold of him. I've even asked if he wanted to come see her, and it's always he's too busy.
Well,
You don't have a way.
I don't have a driver's license. I can't just up and drive to Pelham, Georgia.
Mr. Tolliver, have you ever met Novella? She's
No,
2
ma'am.
now.
No, ma'am.
2 years.
I know, but I mean, if it was really mine.
The judge zeroes in on the severe allergies of Novella, which adds a whole new layer of urgency to the paternity confirmation. This isn't just about drama, it's about a little girl's health and future. The courtroom holds its breath as the DNA results are about to drop.
That Novella has severe allergies.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why you desperately want to find Mr. Tolliver identified as her biological father. You need help.
She has allergy problems. I'm constantly going back and forth to the doctors with her. She's allergic to just about anything you can be allergic to. Pine trees, oak trees, apples, rice, you name it, she's allergic to it.
There is no medical history of any kind of allergy problems in my family whatsoever, of anything.
With the courtroom on the edge of their seats, the DNA test results are finally ready to be revealed. This is the moment of truth everyone's been waiting for. Will Mr. Tolliver step up or step out? It's about to get real, folks.
Do you believe that when she says it, or do you think
No,
she's
because
just...
I've been going through this for 2 years. For 2 years, every couple months.
I've moved on. I don't want you in my life.
And Ms. Bowl, you're in a relationship with Mr. Tolliver?
Yes, I am.
And how do you deal with all this?
I mean, if it's not his daughter, so that's fine. But if it is his daughter, I'm gonna act, be like a stepmom, I guess you could say. I'll take care of her, I'll make her happy, like it's my child.
Drum roll, please. The results confirm Mr. Tolliver is indeed Novella's father. The courtroom erupts in a mix of applause and sighs of relief. This bombshell has everyone reeling, and now the real work begins. Watch as they navigate the new family dynamics.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. When it comes to 2-year-old Novella Allen, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Tolliver, you are her father.
Okay.
The episode kicks off with some serious courtroom vibes. The court is called to order, and the players in the drama, the case of Hoyer vs. Porter, Horn, and Gentry, are introduced. Grab your popcorn, because this is just the beginning of the courtroom drama.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Hoyer versus Porter, Horn, and Gentry.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Hoyer, after 14 years of being in foster care, you desperately searched for your father.
Mr. Hoyer sets the stage with a heartbreaking backstory. He talks about his rough journey growing up in foster care and the bittersweet end to his search for his father, who turned out to be deceased. Strap in. This roller coaster of emotions is just starting to climb.
That your alleged father, Mr. James Horn, was tragically killed. To make matters worse, you claim his family rejected you, and so you're here today to prove to them that you are indeed his son and finally have a family.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Porter and her mother, Miss Horn, are up next, and they're not buying what Mr. Hoyer is selling. They staunchly believe that Mr. Hoyer is not part of their family based on Mr. Horn's insistence that he had no children. The plot thickens. Stay tuned, because the family drama is about to dial up.
You and your mother, Ms. Horn, who's joining us from her hometown, are adamant that Mr. Hoyer is not biologically part of your family. You claim that before Mr. Horn passed away, he clearly stated that he had no children, and you believe today's DNA results will prove him right.
Here comes Miss Gentry, Mr. Hoyer's mom, hoping to mend fences and uncover truths today, although she's not even sure who the father is. It's a messy situation, and everyone in the courtroom is on the edge of their seats. Things are about to get real juicy.
Miss Gentry, you are Mr. Hoyer's mother. You say you're hoping to build a better relationship with him today by truthfully answering the court's questions in an effort to determine the truth. You admit you are unsure who fathered your son.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hoyer recounts the pivotal moment he discovered Mr. James Horn might be his dad. Imagine finding out such life-changing news on your birthday. Talk about a birthday surprise. But wait, there's more. Let's see how his first encounter with his potential uncle went down.
Which stopped me right there in my tracks. I was like, wait, you know my father? He was like, yeah, your father is James Horn.
And this was the first person that had looked at you and said, you look just like him.
Yes, Your Honor, and I actually have a photo here.
Jerome, may I see that, please? So this is a photo of the man you were told is your father. When you look at this picture, do you see yourself?
I do in some ways. I see myself through the smile and through the forehead and the eyebrows.
Drama ensues as Mr. Hoyer meets his supposed uncle for the first time. There's talk of hand similarities, but skepticism from others in the room casts doubt. Fasten your seatbelts, because we're diving deeper into this family mystery.
My older brother lives next door, my alleged father's brother. And he went over and asked my alleged uncle about the name, James Horn, and he was like, yes, that's my brother. My adopted brother came and got me, took me over to his neighbors, and that's how I met him.
Secrets come spilling out as Miss Gentry explains her hidden relationship with Mr. Horn, kept under wraps due to racial prejudices. The secret's out now, and the courtroom's buzzing. Hold on, because the family's reaction is just around the corner.
It was a secret. I didn't even know I was really pregnant until I was 6 months. But like I have told my son, there is another man before this man.
So what you're saying is you were open and honest with your son that you had also been intimate with another man before Mr. Horn.
Yes.
The gloves come off as Miss Gentry and Miss Porter clash over past accusations and the legitimacy of Mr. Hoyer's paternity. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. You won't want to miss what happens next as old wounds are reopened.
When you had your son, was Mr. Horn there? Was he involved with your son?
Yes, I had seen my son one time. I left out of the relationship because I had all this controversy with my family.
Well, because when he was born, the secret was out at that point, right?
Yeah, and when I found out he was dead, it devastated me, you know? I mean, devastated me because I loved him so much.
No, she's not telling the truth. When the first time we ever seen her was 2 weeks.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any more heated, emotions boil over. The family confronts each other with accusations flying left and right. Stay tuned. The DNA results are coming up and they're going to drop a bombshell.
4 years
all
old.
I said is your father is dead. That's all I said, and I left it at that.
He went to the store to get him some milk and some Pampers, and he got killed. That was a lie too.
Take a lie detector test.
After 23 years, we don't know nothing about this young man. It's a whole lot you need to take.
The way you treated me, you think I'm going to come back to
but
treat
it's getting
me?
off my chest.
And my baby, you threw us out of the house? Oh, where you coming back to that?
Yes.
The court takes a closer look at childhood photos of Mr. Hoyer and Mr. Horn to hunt for any family resemblance. Some see it, some don't. Either way, we're inching closer to the truth. Don't go anywhere. The DNA results are about to turn everything upside down.
And a young picture of Mr. Horn. You see a resemblance?
Not really. Not in that one.
Do you see yourself at all?
I can see myself in the smile.
And then the second set of photos are these photos.
Now right there, that's when we noticed it. Yes, yes.
And how about you, sir, where you see your face?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's the moment of truth, and the results are in.
The DNA test results have determined that Mr. Horn is not likely your biological father.
The judge kicks things off with a formal yet is somewhat relaxed vibe. You may be seated, she says, adding a touch of officialdom to the room. Hello, Your Honor, comes a reply, followed by a friendly, hello, Jerome. This casual greeting sets a surprisingly laid-back tone for the courtroom drama about to unfold.
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, Jerome.
This is the case of Lindsay versus Word and Jones.
Thank you so much. Good day, everyone. Ms. Lindsay, you say you're sick and tired of two men whom you believe are using your grandson as an excuse to walk in and out of your daughter's life?
Miss Lindsay, you say you're sick and tired of two men? The judge begins, diving straight into the drama. Miss Lindsay nods emphatically, accusing the men of using her grandson as a revolving door excuse to waltz in and out of her daughter's life. The audience gasps, sensing the soap opera level revelations just getting started.
Now, you're here today along with your daughter, Crystal, to learn which of them fathered Austin. Now, Mr. Word, you claim you want to be in Austin's life, but you say you're unsure biological father.
Yes.
You argue these doubts came directly from Crystal when she told you there is a second possible father.
Enter Mr. Jones, the other possible dad, appearing via video link from his hometown. Now Mr. Jones has been tested as well, the judge announces, setting the stage for more paternity puzzle pieces. Everyone in the courtroom leans in, ready for the virtual face-off.
Now, Mr. Jones, Austin's other possible father, has been tested as well, and he will be joining us from his hometown. Ms. Lindsay, let me start with you. Why do you think Mr. Word is taking advantage of your daughter?
Why do you think Mr. Word is taking advantage of your daughter? The judge probes further. Miss Lindsay launches into a tale of deceit, revealing Mr. Word met her daughter while still married, which Mr. Word hastily denies. Then they got a divorce, she continues, painting a picture of a man who can't seem to decide if he's in or out of relationships.
He was married.
Your Honor,
Then they got a divorce.
That's not true. I was divorced in 2008.
Then they got a
Me and her
divorce.
met 2 or 3 years after that.
And then he was trying to still talk to my daughter.
So you felt like he was lying, he wasn't being genuine to your daughter?
Correct.
Mr. Word takes the floor with a dramatic flair, claiming he noticed changes in Crystal's body and knew she was pregnant. I love her. I still love her to this day, he declares, professing his undying affection and commitment to change his party boy ways. The audience claps, sucked into the telenovela unfolding before them.
At the time she found out she was pregnant.
No,
because you took her to, you took her to the clinic. I didn't even get to go to the clinic with her.
No, we might have been in a relationship at the time, but she was not there when I realized she was pregnant. She came to my house, came to my room. When she laid down, of course, I know her body. I love her. I still love her to this day.
Crystal speaks up, her voice a mix of frustration and resignation as she details the rocky road with Mr. Word. Because we were having conflict and we were arguing and we were back and forth, she explains, painting a picture of a love story with more bumps than a gravel road. The courtroom murmurs, hooked on every word.
You also had sex with another guy?
Yes.
Now, tell me what the circumstances were that would cause you to do that if you were in a relationship.
Having conflict, and we was arguing, and we was back and forth the whole 3 years that we was together.
He was not taking care of her.
Actually,
I would have
Your
to take
Honor,
food down to her.
Times I didn't have money and I couldn't buy the things that she wanted.
When he went in her shoes and told her, "You're not going nowhere. You're gonna be here when I get back."
The spotlight swings back to Mr. Word, who's trying to paint himself in a better light, but only manages to reveal the spottiness of his support. Sometimes I didn't have money, he admits, adding a twist to his narrative of noble intentions. The plot thickens, and the audience is itching to hear more about this financial roller coaster.
Mr. Word, let me ask you this, because you seem like once you found out she was pregnant, you said you would be there.
We planned to. I was on birth control. I got off of birth control because we both agreed that we wanted to have a kid together and we wanted to start a family together.
That's true.
All right, when did you find out that there could be someone else?
After the baby was born.
Why did he go and sign the damn birth certificate?
Did you still bond with Austin? The judge asks, digging into the emotional aspects of Mr. Word's paternity doubts. I tried my best to, he responds, hinting at a heart perhaps not fully in the game. This half-hearted confession paves the way for even more courtroom drama.
How many times have you seen him since he's been born?
At least 30, but that's not my fault that it's so less.
So does he come see Austin regularly?
Now?
No,
Your Honor, he does not.
He has, in the 2 years he's been born, he has only given $30 for his Halloween costume last year.
All right, let's cut to the chase. It's been almost 2 years since this child has been on this earth. Do you think part of the reason why you have not been as involved is because your doubt working in the back of your mind?
I'm telling you, it's because of her.
Mr. Jones finally gets his turn, explaining his ghosting during Crystal's pregnancy as a series of missed connections and miscommunications. We didn't have no contact with each other the whole time I was pregnant, Crystal confirms, adding layers to the mystery of who was really there for her. The audience leans forward, eager for the next twist.
Why have you not provided at all? Were you there through the pregnancy? When you found out she was pregnant, were you there?
I wasn't in touch with Crystal none through the pregnancy, and that was none of my fault at all. When she finally even had the baby, I didn't know no hospital or nothing. All I knew is she had a...
Oh, Your Honor,
no, he said
she was pregnant, but
through
never
the pregnancy,
tried to hide.
through the pregnancy, he didn't know. We didn't have no contact with each other the whole time I was pregnant.
Correct.
The family feud intensifies as Miss Lindsay recounts how both potential fathers have let Crystal down repeatedly. These men, walking taking over her. It's not right, she laments, her frustration palpable. The courtroom nods in agreement, everyone now fully invested in the family's tangled web.
Stuff like that. And
when
put
you take
stuff in my
somebody's
hand.
paycheck and you don't have even them a pack of cigarettes, what would you call that? So I'm just putting the truth out there because I'm tired of them men, these men, walking over her. That he takes her coat and her shoes and leaves her. It's not right that he takes her money and leaves her with no food. And now it's all about my grandson, because when these two dog her, who is gonna have to come pick up that little boy?
And now for the moment of truth, the judge announces, ready to reveal the results of the DNA test.
Is the father of 1-year-old Austin. Mr. Word, you are the father.